What's wrong with me?
Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm starting another reading vlog because apparently that is all I film at the moment and it seems to be my favourite thing to do. I'm starting a very exciting, interesting reading vlog because I've decided, as you will probably have seen from the title, to start After by Anna Todd for the first time. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm excited, I'm intrigued. I have heard very mixed opinions about these books and some very interesting things, but I'm excited to delve into them and make my own opinions. I do already know the plot. I have seen the first two films and entertainment wise they are brilliant. They are guilty pleasures. There are obviously some major issues in those films, particularly the highly toxic relationship of these two. But I am very interested to see how that is done in the book, if it's better, if it's worse. I'm going to assume worse because the thing that is most interesting and hilarious about these books is that they started off as One Direction, well, Harry Styles specifically, fanfic. So I believe Hardin's character is based off of Harry Styles, but like a bad boy Harry Styles. So already that has me pretty intrigued and I feel like it's going to be highly entertaining. So yeah, I thought what I would do is just do some very spoilery reading vlogs for this series. I am borrowing them off my friend, so I've got the first two just now, but I'll read the rest after she is finished. The plan is just to read these and literally vlog all of my thoughts and feelings as I go, so they are going to be completely spoiler filled, so if you don't want any spoilers I would not watch these, but I think it'll be entertaining to see what I think as we go along. So yeah, I think there's really not much left to do but start, I guess. Okay, so I have read a total of 10 pages and I already have some thoughts. So first and foremost, I am so glad that dear Tessa is getting away from that horrible mum of hers. Like within the first couple of pages, Tessa is getting ready to go to uni. She comes downstairs, puts her hair in a little ponytail and her mum's like, oh, we've got time if you want to fix your hair. Like, from the beginning that just screams emotionally abusive parent. So I'm going to assume Tessa's already going to have some issues concerning that, but I'm just glad she's getting away from it. And also when they get to uni and she meets her roommate for the first time, who is lovely, and goes straight up to her and gives her a big hug, which I'm going to assume does not happen very often. Didn't exactly happen at my uni, don't see it happening very often in other places. So she was actually really lucky with the roommate that she got that was so lovely and welcoming, and just because of like the way she dresses and her punk boys that are coming to visit her dorm, her mum's instantly like, we are changing dorms, like meh, meh, meh. Because she's obviously like this prissy perfect woman who has a certain idea of how Tessa's life is going to be. And to be honest, I am so ready to see Tessa's life go in a completely different direction from that. I think we've already met Hardin. Please be careful with this book because it's not mine. So her new roommate is called Steph. And her friends Nate and some other guy come, well, some other guy I'm assuming is Hardin, come and get her, and like Nate comes in and is like all friendly and that, and then there's Hardin lingering in the background, rolling his eyes in annoyance and pulling a cell phone from the pocket of his tight black jeans. You can already tell us it's going to be a saucy book. But then straight away she's like, he definitely isn't as friendly as Steph or Nate. He's more appealing though. Something about him makes it hard to tear my eyes from his face. So we already know she's going to be attracted to his bad boy nature, which, yeah, opens us up to a very toxic relationship. But then she's like, I'm vaguely aware of Noah's eyes on me as I finally look away and pretend I was staring out of shock. And yeah, one thing that I feel like I'm not going to be happy about is how she treats Noah in this, although in the film I'm pretty sure I didn't really like Noah, so I didn't really care. But at the same time, I do not condone cheating, so we shall see. We shall see how I feel about how this is handled. Okay, so I'm now on page 41, so I'm not very far through, but I can already tell this is going to be such a fast read. Like, I'm already racing through it. I mean, it helps that the chapters are like between 2 and 5 pages long. Like, look at that, that is 2 pages long, and I live for that because I know that I'll be sitting up at night and I'll be like, oh, just one more chapter. Oh, 5 pages. Oh, just one more chapter, and then before I know it, I'll read another 100 pages. But also, it's just such an easy read. It reminds me of like the books I read when I was a teenager, like at high school, and like I would just get so obsessed with them and just race through them, and I'd be getting them out of the school library and I'd take one home one night, finish it, and then go to get the next one in the series the next. Like, usually, typically like vampire books, like the Morgan Bells, the House of Night books, all that jazz. I feel like this is going to have the same effect on me, even though I'm 25 and I should really be over all that by now. I could tell this is going to be... I feel like there is more to come that is going to seriously annoy me, but at the moment it just feels like such a guilty pleasure and I feel hooked. Like, I could totally see the attraction to Hardin, and it's so stupid, it really is, but like, I was like her when I was in school. I was such a little goody two-shoes, and a guy with like banter, like, who treats you a bit mean but like has like that really good level of sarcasm, I just know I'd be interested as well. And he's like rude and arrogant, but I could totally see myself just being like, oh, I want to know more. So yeah, that sounds bad, but I get it. But I just feel like, so far I'm only 40 pages in, and I know that's not very far, but I just really already want Tessa to just break out of her little prissy shell. Like, it's her first day of college and she says, God, it actually breaks my heart. I wake up extra early to make sure I can take a shower without boys around and not be rushed. My white button-up shirt and tan pleated skirt are perfectly ironed and ready to be put on. I get dressed, pin my hair and put my bag over my shoulder. Like, she's just like prime like loner material, and it's sad, I know it is, and everyone should be able to be who they are and she should be able to be who she is, so it's kind of bad for me saying I wanted her to break out of her shell, but I just feel like that's not her. I feel like that's what her mum has drilled into her, and she has a different side of her to give, and I'm really excited for Hardin to bring that out in her. I really am. Really surprisingly getting hooked so far. Okay, I'm already starting to remember why I didn't like Nate. Noah. I'm already realising why I didn't like Noah in the film. I don't think this is in the film, but he has a very similar character. So basically, where am I? After she's been to a party, and she tells Noah that she's been to the party, and he's all like, oh my god, you go to parties now, blah, blah, blah. And then they're talking later on, and she's like, oh, I'm ready for the weekend because it's a Friday and she's had her first day at uni. No mention of that, no well done you or anything like that, just, oh, you going to another party, your mum is still disappointed. First off, what weird creepy ass little boyfriend tells their girlfriend's mum on them, like goes and says, oh, your daughter was at a party? Like, who does that, first of all? And secondly, who is disappointed in their daughter or their girlfriend or whatever for going out and having a good time? Like, it's so emotionally, maybe not abusive, but manipulative already, and I'm not a fan. And I feel like more of that from Noah comes out, and that's why I don't like him. So yeah, don't like Noah. Okay, so we have made it this tiny little bit through the book, a total of 69 pages, and they've already kissed. She has already cheated on her boyfriend of 2 years. This is how much willpower she has. It's not a lot, is it? 69 pages, 2 parties, and she's kissed him. And he didn't even kiss her and she kissed him back. She kissed him. She kissed him, which is even worse. Like, I just can't. I look at his lips once more and I can feel my conscience and my hormones battling. But my conscience loses and I crash my lips against his, catching him totally off guard. Oh, Tessa, Tessa, Tessa. This is gonna be interesting. Oh, her goddamn mum. So she's been away at uni for a week. She is 18 years old. She is out living her life, getting her education. She is an adult. And after party number 2, she's got her phone off. For one night, she does not answer phone calls from Noah, who obviously goes straight to her mum, tattletales on her, and her mum can't get through to her either. So in the morning, they show up at her dorm room. Her mum banging on the door, and little Noah tailing along behind her. I'm sorry, that is not okay. That is not okay. And then obviously they treat Harden like crap because he was there to make sure she was okay, because she walked home alone in the dark. And then they get her to agree to not go to any more parties, to not drink, and to not hang out with Harden or Steph or any of that lot, which I'm sorry is none of their business. And also, Tessa, what are you doing agreeing to it? Like, be a woman, be strong. Like, yeah, I really don't care about Noah anymore. Like, he can just totally get out of the picture. He's just like this little weedy boy who obviously just wants Tessa to be his idea of like what she should be. And if she diverges from that in any way, he'd tell her mum on her. Like, I remember now when I was watching the film in that first scene where like they go to the dorms, up until like a good like 20 minutes into it, I thought Noah was her brother. Like, it wasn't until like I think they kissed goodbye or something and I was like, wait, what? They're boyfriend and girlfriend? And it's kind of the same in this, like they basically act like they're like brother and sister, and I mean he treats her like a sister, going and telling on her to her mum. Like, it's just the weirdest relationship ever. Like, who does that? Who does that? Okay, so I'm starting to relate to Tessa even more. She was in her dorm room and she was like getting ready to study, and Harden's there because he's waiting for Steph, and just because, well, Harden's basically always there, isn't he? But then she's like laying out her books and she's like, I grab my books and lay them out neatly in order of my class schedule and stack the notes for each class on top of them. And then Harden goes, are you OCD or something? And then she replies, no Harden, not everyone's crazy because they just like things a certain way. There's nothing wrong with being organised. Yes, girl. I am, when I want to be the most organised person. Like, I love to-do lists, planners, putting things in order of when I'm going to do them, like all of that stuff. I am so here for it. It makes me feel so productive, it makes me do more, and it makes me feel so accomplished. So yes, I totally get that, and I felt those words. I was in need of sustenance, so I have picked up my trusty Iron Brew Extra, aka the best drink in the world, and some of these lovely little Christmassy Lindor chocolates because it's never too early. Now, I'm gonna get back to it. So, I knew this book is like supposed to be like really dirty, like so smutty, and to be honest, I'm kind of excited for that. It's always very entertaining. Yeah, but we just got to this bit where he's supposedly like dirty talking, and I really hope he gets better. Like, this is what he said to her. Okay, so he's like, he takes a step towards her, he's getting like closer and closer, and he's trying to like sort of like get her going sort of thing, and prove that he has like a hold over her or whatever. And he goes, your pulse has quickened, hasn't it? Your mouth is dry. You're thinking about me and have that feeling ... down there. Don't you, Teresa? I mean, if that's his idea of dirty talk, like, you have that feeling down there, don't you? Who says that? Like, I really hope he improves. Like, I can't read more of that, like, for however many books this is. Okay, so Tessa's being a very naughty girl. She already kissed Hardin, and then they just went and had like a little day out because they said they were going to be friends from now on. And they went to this lake, stream, river thing. They went swimming, and then things went down afterwards on the grassy bank with no one around. It was all very romantic and intimate, and you kind of forget for a minute that she has a boyfriend, and you kind of think, oh, like, this is nice, like she's having her first like real sort of intimate relationship with someone. And I was condoning it for a little while, and then they drive back, and before she gets out they like go to kiss, and she like straddles him and he like pushes the seat back, and it's all getting very hot and heavy. And then she gets a phone call, and it's Noah, her boyfriend, calling her to speak to her. And this is what it says. So I look at the screen and see it's Noah. I stop. Looking at Hardin, I can tell he's figured it out. His expression changes. I'm fearing that I'm losing him. This mood. I hit the ignore button and toss my phone back onto the passenger seat. I am not thinking about Noah right now. I push him to the back corner of my mind and lock that door. I lean in to continue kissing Hardin. No, I do not like cheating. It is one of my absolute pet hates in any shape or form. I do not like cheating. And yes, I don't like Noah. And yes, I think Tessa should explore new things. But she should end her relationship first. And the fact that she literally saw him calling, was reminded, as if anyone can forget, that she has a boyfriend, and chose to ignore it, throw it away and go back to kissing Hardin. Like, that's not okay. That is not okay. She's acting like this goody goody little girl, and she's not. And I am not happy with her right now. She is in the doghouse. I'm literally on like the next page, and I'm already enraged again. Like, literally is the next page, and she's like, I remind myself that I do have someone who loves me, and that I need to start treating him better and stay away from Hardin, for real this time. So wait, she's going to continue this relationship of adultery? Like, she's clearly not that into him. She's not getting what she needs from him as a woman to fulfill her needs. It's not working. She has cheated on him multiple times now. And yeah, she's gonna continue with this relationship, apparently, and treat him better. Does that mean she's not going to tell him about what she's done? Like, I'm getting very angry. And I know this isn't even the part of the book that I'm supposed to get angry about, so who knows what's going to happen in the rest of this. We're only on page 125 of like 600 of book 1 of like 4 or 5 books, so this is going to be fun. Okay, so I'm just about to go for a bath, but I had to like update on this little line that I just read. So Tessa got Noah to come over and like spend the weekend as a way to stop her from like going to parties or going to see Hardin or whatever, which is just messed up in itself. But she then was like trying to like get quite like hot and heavy with him to like prove that she can have that passion with him, and it's not just Hardin that she feels that way about. So she was like straddling him, kissing him, like rocking against him, like trying to like get him all heated up. And then nothing was really happening because apparently they've agreed they won't have sex until marriage or whatever. So she then got off him, and then he goes, "That was nice, Tessa." Like, I'm sorry. If I was like trying to seduce someone, it was like grinding against them and like kissing them like all hot and heavy, and they turned to me and went, "That was nice, India." I would be out of there. Good morning. So it is now the next day. I did stay up reading for a bit last night and made it to page 199, so basically 200 pages in. I had to update you because had some feelings last night about a certain character who I'm really, really struggling with. So Tessa, our main character, is really, really starting to get to me. Like, in the film I kind of felt like I was like, she was the innocent one and it was made out for like Hardin to be like the bad boy and he was the one that was sort of like leading her off the rails sort of thing. From what I remember, because it was a while ago that I watched it. But in the book, oh my god, like her morals are not in check. So basically, Hardin got really drunk and started like smashing up like things at his dad and stepmom's house because he found out that they're going to get married and they've been like engaged for a while and his dad never told him and just told him like, oh by the way, I'm getting married next month sort of thing. And his dad doesn't seem like a very nice character. He wasn't very good to him when he was a child and everything. So Landon, which is Tessa's friend and Hardin's future stepbrother, called Tessa and was like, can you come over and like talk him down, like he'll listen to you sort of thing. So she left Noah, her boyfriend, who knows no one, who is not from this uni, in her dorm room and went to go talk Hardin down, which that's okay, like we can kind of allow that, she's trying to help someone. But then after she talked him down, he even was like, oh like stay with me, like sleep over sort of thing. And she was like, yeah. Like, it's fine, I'll just put my phone aside and not read any of the messages from Noah tonight and I'll deal with it tomorrow. No, not okay. And then when she comes back, she is like speaking to Noah and Hardin bursts in and is like, you need to tell him, you need to tell him. So Noah ends up finding out, and then he goes away, like obviously runs away, like they sort of have like a little break up and he says he needs time and he goes to drive away and she's like, he just needs time to get over this and we can go back to normal. He just needs time. No, like you should not be allowing him to take that time. Like one, him with any self-respect should be ending this because she has been cheating on you while you were in her bed waiting for her. And two, you should not want to stick around with a person who obviously you're not that into, who you're treated so badly. Like you should be ending that and not causing any more pain. And then it got worse, so page 183, she then says to Hardin, no, she says about Hardin, where is it? I have done nothing but cry since I met Hardin and now he has tried to ruin my relationship with Noah. So she's saying that by forcing her to tell Noah about them, he is the one that has ruined that relationship. So not her cheating on him multiple times on multiple occasions, seeing him phone, ignoring the call, put it down, continue to cheat, leaving him in her dorm room and going off and staying with Hardin and doing some things as well. That's not ruining the relationship. No. Hardin telling Noah about it. Like this girl can take no accountability at all. She just blames Hardin for like all of her problems, it seems. And then it got even worse because after the whole cheating saga, there was another bit that I really didn't like from her on page 193 where there was this girl in the group called Molly who has like a kind of like friends with benefits situation with Hardin, and she doesn't seem like the nicest girl. Like she obviously doesn't like Tessa, I think, because she's quite intimidated and a bit jealous, so she can be quite nasty. But so it's like they were at dinner somewhere or something, and then Hardin shows up and Molly's there and Hardin and Molly are like all over each other sort of thing. And then Tessa goes, I don't care how good he looks or how skanky Molly is dressed. She's so irritating with her stupid pink hair and her skanky clothes. She is a slut. Like, I don't care how different your values are or your lifestyle is. You do not go around calling someone skanky and a slut. Like, I hate the word slut, especially when women use it against other women. And she just acts like she's this innocent little girl who does nothing wrong and nothing's ever her fault, and she's going around cheating on her boyfriend, blaming other people, and saying things like that, like calling other women a slut just because they dress a little bit more provocatively and they're kissing the guy she likes. Like, no. I'm having a really hard time sympathising with Tessa right now, but we shall see how that continues. Okay, this book is literally taking me on an emotional and moral roller coaster. So I was still really annoyed because of the way Tessa's being about Noah and Harden, even though I don't like Noah, I cannot condone cheating in any way, especially when it'd be so easy to just end things with him and then go do what you want. Like, it just annoys me. But she's like talking about how she feels about Noah and like how he's like safe and he's like all she's ever known and he's familiar and that's probably why she stays with him. But then she's like going through the reasons of like why she's still with him. Then she's like, I think the biggest reason is that I know Harden can't and won't give me the type of relationship I need and honestly want from him. So literally just openly admitting that Noah is second best and the only reason she's with him is because she can't be with Harden. Like, that is not a reason to be with someone, and as much as I don't like Noah, he deserves to be with someone who actually wants to be with him and doesn't see him as like a last resort, second best situation. So that annoys me. But then she went for dinner with Harden to his dad's house because things happened, and like he obviously really struggled because he really doesn't like his dad, but he wanted to go with Tessa, and then there was some drama, but they still managed to have like a nice enough dinner. And then like he goes upstairs afterwards because he's like a little upset because his dad had said to Tessa, oh, I can like speak to a publishing company for you and get you an internship, and she was like, oh, thank you, but Harden wanted to be the one to do that for her and he wanted to be the one that helped her. And then on page 244 he's like, I tried to tell you that I want to help you and I hold your hand, but that doesn't do anything. You still don't get it. I don't know what else to do. He puts his face in his hands. He can't possibly mean what I think he does. Get what? I don't get what, Harden? That I want you more than I've ever wanted anyone or anything in my entire life. It breaks my heart. I know he has his issues and this relationship is toxic already and it's only going to get worse, but I love him. I do, and I totally understand the obsession, even though it's toxic. But when he says things like that, I'm just like, I'll be with you. Okay, I think I've just read the most savage breakup in breakup history. So after this big dinner that Tessa had with Harden, stayed over at the house, then she came home and she and Harden had a fight. Shock. So she ran back into her dorm room, sees Noah there waiting for her because he just likes to pop up whenever he feels like it. And then Harden comes crashing through afterwards saying, oh, I didn't mean it, blah, 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 like, I want to be with you, whatever. And then Tessa and Harden proceed to have this very intimate moment in which they decide to become a couple and make a go of things while Noah stands there watching. So Harden says all these things, and then Tessa's like goes over to Harden and starts holding his hand while Noah's there watching, and then she's like looking at Harden and she's like, you should go. And then Noah's like, thank you, and then she's like, no, you should go. Like, she is not a good person. She is not a good person. Her and Harden deserve each other. I'm done. Except I'm not done because I'm highly addicted and for some reason I cannot stop reading this book. I need to know what happens, and I hate myself and I'm seriously questioning my morals, but I need to read it. What's wrong with me? Okay, so it's the next night. I am now on page 370 of the book, and I knew going into this, I've been told that it goes backwards and forwards a lot. They're together, then they're not together, then together, then they're not together, but I did not realise how much that was going to happen. Like literally every time things get a little bit good, Harden gets all sarcastic and hateful again and pushes her away, like every single time. And we all know I don't like Tessa either. She has her flaws. At times they are just as bad as each other. Like they have this obsession with whenever things go wrong, they love to make each other jealous. So they're like at parties purposely kissing other people in front of each other to like hurt each other, which is so toxic. What gets me most of everything in reading these books is that knowing how toxic it is, knowing how awful the relationship is and how much they're hurting each other and how just messed up the whole thing is, I still root for them. I still kind of want them to be together. Like, what is that? What is wrong with me? Let's dig a little deeper and really think, what the hell is wrong with me that I'm rooting for these guys? Like, I think the thing is that for some reason I just, no matter how bad he is, I still kind of love Hardin. Well, not love, that's a bit strong. I know he's manipulative and I know he gaslights her a lot, he like kind of emotionally abuses her at times, but I feel like it's just because even with everything he does, underneath there is this tortured, messed up little boy that isn't really in control of the things he's doing. And yes, he needs to take responsibility for his actions and he needs to stop treating her like this. If not even for her, for himself, because he's messing up his own life. But I don't know, I just feel like he's so troubled, and when he does these things, when it all gets good and when he pushes her away and he gets sarcastic and he tries to make her jealous, it's all because of his own insecurities and his own sort of warped sense of self, and I don't think he knows how to handle his emotions, so he acts out and does like really awful things, which again is not okay. I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just one of those people that always wants to see the good in people. And even in real life, people who come from troubled backgrounds and who do like really awful things, I'm one of those people that always wants to understand why, and I want to help them. And I feel like that's what's going on in this book, and I know that's far too deep for this book because that's not what this is about at all, but I guess that's just me. All I really want is for them both to just stop acting like absolute idiots and just be happy. I think that's probably the most naive thing anyone has ever said about this book, ever. I said it. Okay, I'm annoyed again. It is the next day. I only have like this tiny little chunk left to read. I think it's like less than 100 pages or so. But I'm on page 480, and once again Hardin and Tessa have had an argument because that's all they ever do, and basically they like went back to his frat house to stay over, and when they were there was like this party going on with like these really dodgy guys who kind of like blackmailed Hardin to come down and join them for a bit. It kind of seems like they have something on him or something because he can't say no to them, and he seems a bit like scared of them almost. So he told Tessa to stay in her room, stay in his room to like keep her safe or whatever, which of course she didn't do. She came downstairs and joined in. They were playing that suck and blow game, and then the guy next to Tessa purposely let go of the paper so he was going to have to kiss her, and then Hardin jumps on him and starts beating him to a pulp. And then eventually they go upstairs and they have a big argument about the fact that she came downstairs when he told her not to and all this crap. And then bloody book. This guy, seriously, like, he's starting to annoy me. Like I said, obviously that I sympathise with him and I know he has his issues, but the gaslighting is really, really starting to get to me. Like they've had this big argument and a lot of it was his fault because he's so controlling and he's got these weird anger issues and everything. And then page 481, he's like, you never listen to me and you always fight me on everything. You're stubborn and borderline intolerable. I know, I repeat. You provoke me and cause me a shitload of unnecessary stress, not to mention you almost made out with Dan right in front of me. His lips touch my neck and I shiver. You say the most annoying things and you act like a child when you're mad. Despite the insults he is throwing at me, complaints about things that deep down I think he really enjoys about me, my stomach is fluttering as he kisses my skin and continues his light verbal assault. He pushes his hips against mine again, more forcefully this time. And then of course they end up having sex. So basically he goes at her saying all these things about her and how everything's her fault. She's like, yeah, I know. And if he knows that if he like kisses her, he has this like weird power over her. So while saying all these things and doing his light verbal assault, as she words it herself, he kisses her to like make it all right, and she just goes along with it, and it's just so messed up. Like, and yet I can't stop reading. Okay, there's a chance I have found a glimmer of hope in this book of absolute darkness. Obviously they were having an argument. We're now on page 502, so it's not been very long since the last one. And basically Noah called Tessa to like check up on her and make sure she's okay, because they've been friends since they were children, and he did annoy me a bit because he's like, your mum's really angry at you because you're with him. But obviously he's going to be a bit jealous because we did get treated very badly. But the whole relationship between him and her mum is just, it's just a bit odd for me. I don't like it. But anyway, so they have a nice chat, she goes to work, and then Hardin and Tessa move in together to their new apartment later on. They have this lovely night eating pizza and stuff, and then Tessa gets a text from Noah saying, oh, it was nice speaking to you today, and Hardin sees it and flips his lid, obviously. And then he's all like, wait, we go, call him right now and tell him not to call you again. And then Tessa's like, what? No, I'm not doing that. Noah hasn't done anything wrong. I've already hurt him enough. We both have. So no, I will not say that to him. There is no harm in me being friends with him. Yes, there is, he says, his voice rising. He thinks he's better than me and he will try to take you from me. I'm not stupid, Tessa. Your mum wants you with him too. I won't let him try to take what is mine. That annoys me. I hate anything possessive and controlling, and it's not good. But continues, I step back and look at him with wide eyes. Would you listen to yourself? You sound like a lunatic. I am not going to be hateful to him just because you feel like you have some insane claim on me. I storm out of the kitchen. And it continues and continues and continues. Basically, he ends up apologising and like calming down and being just like a little bit more reasonable. And I feel like obviously this book is an awful role model for young people and young relationships, but this is good seeing a young woman stand up to a controlling guy and try to change his way of thinking, and them communicating with each other. So, do we have hope for the future? That's the question. Probably not, but at least I found something nice and something that kind of teaches young people good things. I don't know, that's kind of like a big thing to say when like the whole book is just basically a manual of what not to do and what not to put up with. But I don't know, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just gonna go finish the book now. Okay, so I've officially finished After, and that ending, I can't, like, there are no words. I'm sure in the movie it is like a quarter as savage as that was. Like, that was brutal. I'm sure in the movie she finds out in the same way, like in the bar, that it started off as a dare, but I'm sure he was just there to like make her fall in love with him or something. Maybe not, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm sure it was something like that, whereas in the book it's his idea, Hardin's, at one of their first like truth or dare games, like right at the beginning, like the first or second part they went to, when they found out she was a virgin, he sort of set the bet for money that he could take her virginity. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part of it all was that he kept the condom that they used for it, and he kept the sheets with her blood on it from obviously her first time, and showed those to his friends. Like, nothing can ever make that forgivable. Nothing. This is why I swear in the film I kind of forgave him, because it was just to like make her fall in love with him or like break her heart or whatever, but in doing that he fell in love with her and he didn't want to like go through with it, I'm sure. So it wasn't as bad, whereas with this he still went through with it, and by the time they had sex for the first time he was definitely, it seemed anyway, that he had feelings for her, and yet he still showed the sheets and the condom to his friends, so he still got the money for the bet. And I do believe he loves her, but no, It's just so messed up. Nothing, honestly, I'm just like, you can't forgive that. You can't. And I know there are 3 more books after this, so she must forgive him. And I just, you can, no. But you know I need to read the rest of the books now because I need to know what happens. Why am I like this? Why do I get sucked into this absolute trash? I don't know. But anyway, the annoying thing is that as much as I think all that, it is kind of, the book does grip you. It does grip you and it does keep you entertained. As much it does make me absolutely infuriated, and I don't want any young people to ever read it and ever take any sort of advice or role model-esque stuff from this book, because it's just, it's more than toxic, it's like damaging. It's so bad. But anyway, that will be the end of this reading vlog. There will be another one coming up soon in which I will be reading the second book, which I believe is After We Collided, I think. And I'll probably be starting that very soon because I need to know what goes down after this. Like, that ends literally just after she finds out. And she's on her way home and like Zed is taking her home. And of course she got in Zed's car to annoy Hardin. But anyway, I need to stop talking about it. That will be the end of this reading vlog. There will be another one soon in which I will be reading the second book. But as always, if you did enjoy this video, then do please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more content, comment down below with any of your thoughts and feelings, and I will see you in my next one.